looks like I totally forgot about the last Sleaze. Maximum Sleaze from my Maximum Carnage review. Now he's probably gonna appear out of nowhere and try to kill me for some Highlander ass reason. And I've gotta prepare for the upcoming fight because, god damn it, I've been dealing with these 7 deadly Sleazes for far too long. So that's why for today, I'm gonna review Mortal Kombat Trilogy to train my fighting skills.
Wait! I sense someone needs help! So, Virtual Sleaze-san!
Kung Quan Todd from Battle Geek Plus? Ugh, what are you doing here?
It appears that you need my help in fighting in Mortal Kombat!
What are you gonna do? I've seen your Kung Quan Do. It's not gonna help me now.
Oh, I know a thing about Mortal Kombat. Oh, that Johnny Cage. Oh, he rattles my rib cage. And he did. He totally rattled my rib cage once. And it hurt. It hurt a lot.
What's your point? I don't give a shit about Johnny Cage, you Kung Quan cunt.
Mortal Kombat is a test of endurance, a test of might, and I am going to train you in the art of Kung Quan Do in order to win Mortal Kombat!
Train me? Okay, I guess, but only because Maximum Sleaze is still out there. King Kong Todd, it's about time you got sleazy! Mortal Kombat 1 showed us that video games can be brutal, violent, and anything but wholesome. Mortal Kombat 2 raised that bar to new heights with even more blood and crazier, well, everything. Then came Mortal Kombat 3, which took the game-changing Mortal Kombat series and added a dose of cocaine with new running mechanics, a combo system, and the largest variety of weirdest fatalities in arguably the entire series. But the oddest part was the lack of the famous ninja characters like Scorpion and Reptile. Omitting the most popular combatants is such a bizarre choice at the time. They even went as far as having Sub-Zero remove his mask. Don't worry, Reptile. You'll get your turn. Well, in the same year of 1995, video game company known then as Midway released an update which featured returning fighters like Scorpion, Katana, and even a masked Sub-Zero. Fast forward a year later, and another update came out for home consoles, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. And people criticize Capcom for releasing a ton of updates? First off, I know what you're thinking. Yes, the title is misleading. MK Trilogy is not a compilation of the first 3 games. Perhaps Midway should have called this Ultra Mortal Kombat 3 or anything not misleading. For the sake of the review, I'll be talking about the PS1 version as the N64 port cut out characters, stages, and it had worse sound and graphics. Even the back of the PS1 case says this game is on fire! So you know it's badass. I'm also playing this on the PS1 as playing it on PS2 can freeze up during the after game stuff. I'm not gonna lie though. This was my favorite MK game as a kid. It makes sense why, as it includes content from all 3 MK games from characters like Baraka and Raiden, and classic stages like the Pit and the Tower. Even Johnny Cage was completely remade for the game. Some of these even have their classic counterparts, so if you want to play as Jax without his metal arms, then you can. Don't worry, some of them have new moves and are upgraded with running and combos. To do this, on the character select screen, press select on Raiden, Kung Lao, Kano, or Jax. It would have been cool to have all the classic versions like Liu Kang or Reptile, but due to actor disputes, because remember these are digitized actors, it didn't happen. But here are the big hooks. Completely new fighters in Rain and Noob Saibot. This is the first game you can play as their complete incarnations, with the purple rain that can summon lightning bolts, one-upping the thunder god Raiden, and the black ninja Noob Saibot, which, fun fact, is the backwards spelling of overpowered motherfucker, with teleport slams, easy to do combos, and a smoke ball that prevents the opponent from attacking or blocking. Noob is broken good to almost boss levels. Not to discredit Rain and his loops, but damn, Saibot is strong. He's clearly no noob.
Fight! Saibot wins.
Another fun fact, Rain was supposed to be the brown ninja Tremor initially, but was replaced for whatever reason. Remnants can still be found in some manuals. I'm still not done with the hooks. Another row of playable combatants are the boss characters. Goro, Kintaro, Motaro, and the big dominatrix himself, Shao Kahn, make their way to complete a huge roster that's all available from the start. And if it's secret characters you still yearn for, fret not, because Trilogy also introduces the Rainbow Ninja Chameleon. I guess Rainbow isn't 100% accurate, but he flashes the colors of current ninjas, randomly changing into one of them from time to time. It isn't the most interesting addition, despite having a female counterpart in the N64 version, a detail they brought all the way to Mortal Kombat Armageddon in the PS2 and Wii version respectively. But hey, he's in there and I can't complain with more content. I briefly mentioned the gameplay additions before with added running and combo system. This is a change some people are split on, because while it makes the gameplay faster, it also requires the player to learn more movesets to really play the game, opposed to a simpler learning curve in Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter 2, or even Killer Instinct. Running is given a button and a meter, so you can do it infinitely. It still gives aggressive players more offense, and if you tap the run button, you can even sound like you're taking a shit. The combo system uses dial-up combos, like dialing up numbers on a phone. You have to press a series of attacks to chain together a strong combo. You can start it either by running into your opponent, jumping at them, or some don't require much movement, but the general notion is to start with some speed. While it is fun to string long attacks that launch the enemy across the screen, it does feel like more work than necessary just to fare a chance against a tough AI, unless you utilize overpowered characters, i.e. Noob Saibot or Kintaro. All that stuff was added in MK3, so Trilogy decided to add a smaller mechanic in the aggressor meter. This appears at the bottom of the screen and will fill up as you pound on the enemy, more so when they're blocking. Once the word aggressor is filled up, your fighter moves faster and hits harder for a short period of time. It incentivizes more offensive combat than ever, and since it's not the most have-to or broken thing, it's a fine Trilogy exclusive in my book. If you're wondering about new finishing moves, then let me start with brutalities. These are different from the modern day MKX counterpart, as in Trilogy, they act more like an ultra combo using Killer Instinct. On the finish him screen, you have to perform a very long, extensive combo until the opponent explodes into multiple arms, rib cages, and skulls. Because realism! This finishing maneuver has barely seen the light of day due to its difficulty to pull off, and the payoff were ultimately lackluster. Thankfully, with a secret menu, you can select one button fatalities to do these with minimal ease.
Johnny Cage wins. Brutality.
For extra bits, if you press up and select while on Sonya's icon, you can enable stage select. This is a really cool addition since there are a lot of stages and sometimes they can loop in their programmed order. So if you want to play in Lost or the Temple, then you can decide so. Unfortunately, there's only 3 stages from the first game and they don't even have matching music. Was that too much to ask?
Fight!
At least all the stages from MK2 and Ultimate 3 are in, but still, what the fuck? And don't expect a stage fatality from the pit 2, for it would have been too much work to create animations for everyone falling. That makes sense. Not including all the MK1 stages doesn't.
I don't get this game at all! Did Capcom release it? Well, why don't you try it, huh? Yeah, you're the master of it anyways.
So, Virtual Sleaze, in order to win Mortal Kombat, you have to play like this.
Oh, fuck off, you dick-headed bitch! If that's the game you want to play, then I'll do you one even better.
If there's one thing the Mortal Kombat arcade games is known for, it's their unrelenting difficulty. Still very much apparent in this game, the AI reacts to every input you make with inhuman responses and timing. To say this is clear bullshit is an understatement. Look at the Jax brothers. What the fuck?
Jax wins. Jax wins. Jax wins. Jax wins.
Thankfully, as I mentioned earlier, you can always use the overpowered characters to deal with this, but after the first few times, it's just not fun to have to resort to utilizing your own BS moves, to be forced using cheap tactics and spam just to fare in even the easiest of settings. It doesn't even make sense. This is a home exclusive, not an arcade port, so why is it arcade difficult? When two monkeys get into a shit fight, the only certainty is that it's going to stink.
This is pointless! Mortal Kombat Trilogy is not as good as I remember it. It's not helping me learn how to fight, and neither is this Kung King Kong Ching Chong martial arts bullshit! How do you expect me to deal with the deadly Sleaze with this mortal mockery?
Because I know a little thing about being sleazy myself, Virtual Sleaze. Oh yeah, that's Sonya. She's got a great ass. And there was a one-time Melina, she's got a great ass too. She took off her mask and scared the shit out of me. Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, well, Virtual Sleaze, back to your training. So in order to win Mortal Kombat, you have to press that button, press that one, do the fatality, animality, babality, they're all here. How do I know this? I went to Game Facts.
Game Facts? Well, I only subscribe to Game Fucks. But, since I'm kinda low on options, I'll try your strategy. Just this once.
Even though I don't want to make this a review on the entire MK3 saga and just keep it to Trilogy, I have to mention the fatalities. These are some of the most absolutely silly finishing moves in bulk in any fighting game, and that includes Clay Fighter. As MK1 was about the decapitations and MK2 was for the body splits, Trilogy is a lover for full body skeletons getting ripped out. How does Kano do that? How does Shiva do that? Sindel was invited to the party. Jade's in on it too. It's dumb that classic Sub-Zero's fatality is censored, but I imagine he rips out the entire skeletal system as well. Even some animalities are wacky, like Scorpion turning into a penguin and laying an exploding egg, or Reptile revealing he's actually a stupid monkey and scaring the other guy away, or Cyrax turning into Jaws. Then there are just some stupid fatalities that are anything but inspired. The Psychic Ninja Ermac just uppercutting a head off, Cyrax blowing himself up, Smoke blowing up the entire planet? What is Rain doing? Oh god, what is that? Noob, come on, you can do better. Yeah, these aren't the pinnacle of finishing moves, although if you like the craziness of it all, then I won't harp on it.
What's next? Some Karate Kid ripoff?
And of course, my methods for beating Mortal Kombat, you play on, play off.
Screw that! Give me something more useful!
Play blindfolded!
The main thing that hurts Trilogy as it stands is the clear, long load times. And for the record, I'm just talking about the PS1 version. There's no way around it. Whether it's waiting for a menu to load or a fatality, you'd swear the game just froze. It's even worse with Shang Tsung though. The sorcerer that can transform into any fighter pauses the game, takes a bathroom break, and then turns into the fighter you inputted for. Just look at this. It's ridiculous! There are even options to limit the transformations to reduce load times or just not have any at all. What a load of shit!
So Sleaze, how is the training going? Good? Great? Excellent? Because the art of Kung Kwan Do requires discipline, practice, and a lot of hot dogs. And cheese. Lots of cheese.
All this training clearly isn't working! Thanks, Kung Tai Ted!
But Sleaze, it is working. You just have to tap into the fighting spirit.
Fine. At this point, I might as well finish the review.
While the slowdown and load times hurt the game, the amount of additions is pretty great, although it begs the question why Midway even made Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 instead of jumping right to Trilogy. And I'll tell you why. Money. Money, 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 money. While the gameplay maintains the expected quality of the arcade entries, the intermediate content is lacking. This is the most definitive version of MK3, but was clearly made for a cheap buck. The 2-on-2 combat, tournament modes, and the crunchy sound effects of the menu won't be enough to satisfy you from the solidity of the previously released Ultimate 3. I mean, there's a reason why Trilogy still hasn't had a re-release yet. Like, why aren't there all the stages from MK1 with proper music? Why not more pause menu options like Moveless instead of having me going back to the ones I made years ago? Why aren't the cons treasures that you can view after beating the game, like character endings and fatality demonstrations, savable like in the DS port of Ultimate Mortal Kombat? Why does Sub-Zero's versus screen pose looks like he has 4 fingers? Despite all Trilogy has going for it, it sure has a lot going against it, and that's because of what it could have been and just how cheap an upgrade it is. All it is a hodgepodge of classic MK, and a great way for the series' 2D sprite-based combat to go out if you ignore the fact that Ultimate MK3 came out a year before, the load times, the still annoying AI, and, well, everything else I've been rambling on about. Mortal Kombat Trilogy certainly is not a flawless victory.
And that's Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Done and over with.
Yes, you did it, Virtual Sleaze! You've won Mortal Kombat! You are Mortal Kombat champion! Yay!
Now that I'm finished with that, I do feel a bit more, stronger, a bit more, durable to face another shitstorm that's coming my way. Thanks, Kung Kwan Todd from Battle Geek Plus, for helping me on this spiritual journey. My body is ready for maximum sleaze for sure now.
Yes, you won! You're awesome! Yeah, Mortal Kombat! Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, while Mortal Kombat Trilogy was my favorite Mortal Kombat game as a kid, I didn't really have much to pick from between Mortal Kombat 1 through 4. And sure, there are redeeming parts about it, but it all just comes off as lazily put together as it was late for the party in terms of home games, in terms of arcade games, and in terms of Mortal Kombat games, because Mortal Kombat 4 was coming out around a year later. Mortal Kombat Trilogy is a trilogy of failure. But now, time to put my newly acquired Kung Kwon Do to good use.